Hey, what's going on, friends? My podcast every day is broken up into two parts on the free platform. The first part, Act 1, is right now. When it's all done, go right on over to Act 2 to get the second half of the podcast. Thank you so much for checking out my show. Hello, 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 hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. What is up, my friends? Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. Impact Power Sports, online at impactpowersportsmi.com. Shop there for ATVs, UTVs, side-by-sides, e-bikes, zero-turn radius lawnmowers, Yamaha golf carts, sales, service, support, hot chicks, studs, amazing. They have everything you need at Impact Power Sports. They're located in beautiful Rockford, Michigan. More information at impactpowersportsmi.com. They sponsor the studio, and I appreciate them, and I appreciate you. It's I'm in a weird state of flux right now because it's really late, and that's not the time. If I start late, it's one thing. Super late, though, is another. We also have a change in my setup. I don't know if you can tell. There's some sound issues. Frankly, I just fired up the air conditioner. You might be able to hear that in the background. There was also, Corey said, hey, easy, there's a weird static sound. And I don't know if I remedied it. I did remedy it. You still might be able to hear the AC in the background more than you would in the past because I have had to, I changed things up. Well, I didn't change things up, but I got this new piece of equipment, and I don't want to give you the boring details, but we got it up and running the way it's supposed to be. But at the same time, we had to rig it to some degree to get it to do what it's supposed to do. Be able to broadcast the radio show, be able to podcast or broadcast the podcast as well. So my guy, JJ, the engineer, was over here last night. He came down from northern Michigan and helped me set it up, but it's temporary the way it is set up. Once we get it set up completely, there'll be even more capability. But I tell you what, there's a real upside to this. I don't want, like Maureen says, stories are better with lots of details, easy. No, they're not. You got to learn to bump those details out. But JJ got here, and he goes, easy, it's just going to take me an hour to hook this up. You'll be good to go. Well, I came in here, and it was 3 hours after his start, and he had this look on his face like, oh, God. And it was a very pained appearance to his face. And I'm like, JJ, what's up? Talk to me. And there was confusion, and this was supposed to do one thing, zigzag, nonsense. I go, oh, okay, I'll see you later. Whenever there's an engineer here working on the stuff, I do things like make sandwiches for them. I'm not kidding you. Hey, can I get you some food? I don't want these people hangry. How about a drink? Not alcoholic beverage. We finally did get it up and running. But it gives me the ability to do a lot of things, but I don't have that up to speed yet. I just have the ability to broadcast and podcast. Moderately successful. There are things that you won't notice that I do notice that I don't like. But this is all stupid to even bring up in the first place. Hang on. Last night, Pooh Bear and I were at Meijer. Why? I'll tell you about later on. All you need to know is that while we were looking for something, we hear a screaming child. He looked to be no more than 6 or 7. And he's walking alone throughout the store. So he walked right by us and he's crying and he's looking panicked. He's looking for his mother is what he's doing. So Pooh Bear and I, we spring into action. You know, you can't just allow kids to wander around lost. This is how kids, this is a real panic. Chris says, wait, you brought Madison to the store? I want to talk to Mama. You want to talk to Mommy? So we both go up to the kid, and he's just lost. Can't find his mom. I go, hey, big guy, what's up? Where's my mom? I go, well, good news. She's here. She is here, and she's looking for you right now. So we're going to find her. How does that sound? And he wants to take off. So Pooh Bear is there. And I said, you see Mrs. Z right here? I'm Mr. Z. Mrs. Z is going to go find Mom, and you and I are going to stand right here and wait for her. How does that sound? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So Mom starts the process, but before she could get 5 steps into the process, I look to my left, and there's a woman that looks to be momish. She's got a shopping cart with another kid in it. She's looks like a typical mom. And moms don't give a shit how they look when they go to Meijer sometime. They get busy, and they really shouldn't. So she looked like she had kind of had a day. But had to get to Meijer to get the shit. And I go, hey, big guy. I go, what's your name? He goes, PJ. I go, okay, PJ. Hey, do you know that person right there? Yeah. I go, oh, so that's your mom? No. Okay. Who's that? And right about when I say, who's that? I hear, PJ, get over here. And he goes, no. I go, PJ, who is it? My aunt. So now I go, okay. So I kind of like, as she's approaching, I don't know what's going on, but she's calling for me. She's very calm. She's looking at her phone while she's kind of looking at her phone and looks up with PJ, get over here. So it's at this point I've realized this is a trash family, okay? Because the kid looked a little dirty, like his tears caused streaks of dirt off his face. So, this is, one of those, this is a local Ottawa County feral filth fuck kid. They're everywhere around here. So you got to handle them normally. I mean, in a different way than you would a normal person, because they can kill you. Linda asks, is she a monster? Chris says, oh, God, he's trying to escape. You're right. He is trying to escape. Hang on. I got to take a drink of this coffee. It's a great story. Amy says, were they from above the hard living line? But no. The hard living line is probably the most pronounced line in the area. But there are lots of other similar types of lines in various communities that are a little bit more blurry, those lines. And I'm thinking that this kid is from one of the local Slav areas, this kid and the mom. Because the mom is definitely disgusting. As she's getting closer, she's got shit on her face. She looks like she could be Hacksaw Jim Duggan's WWE partner. So I'm like, oh boy. Jeremy says it's a good thing you speak fluent, inconsolable hysterics. That's exactly right. Nick says, I should have said, what are you people doing below the hard living line? Or below US 10, which is the hard living line. Exactly. Bob says it's from one of the hard living islands. Mom is about, or aunt, whatever, is about 3 aisles away as she's walking towards me and this feral kid, this dirty feral child who's screaming hysterically at Meyer. And as she's getting closer, he's getting more and more upset. And so Pooh Bear looks at me and I go, okay, I think it's our job right now to not say shit and just observe. Because we're going from helper mode to let's be entertained mode. Two aisles over. Kid stomping up and down, losing his shit, going, no, I want my mommy. And she's like, she's over there. She's over in Home Goods. We're going to go over there. Well, he fucking takes off. Sure enough, Chris says in Jennison, the 2 areas are under the bubble, which is up the hill, and outside of the bubble, bottom of the hill. Yes, this kid is from whichever one of those is the rough area. And Maureen says, quote, you're not my mommy. He actually said that. He goes, no, I love it. But I'm like, well, I'm thinking to myself, she knows him. That's his aunt. Corey says, quote, your mom's dead. Get over it. I'm all you've got. He bolts. Now, she is not nimble. She's a large lady. And she looks just pissed. So this is probably a regular thing. And she heads down the aisle trying to follow him, and the kid's gone. And she's going, PJ. I'm standing next to a guy who's got a Meyer walkie-talkie. As God is my witness, he pushed the side of it, held it up to his mouth, and said, lock it down. This is a protocol. If there is a child who's a runner, and I actually said, we got a runner! We got a runner! They lock the store down because if the fucker gets out, he's, who knows what can happen to him. Maureen says he knows he's going to get his ass whipped when she catches him. So, now this is another example of how shit like this always happens around me. I mean, think about the entertainment level here. At such an unexpected time to be at the store, and then you're involved somehow in this ridiculous scenario. So now, as the kid, he's screaming as he's running. And this mom is lumbering, or this aunt is lumbering through the store after him, going, PJ, get back here, PJ. Oh my God, get over here, PJ. So now we can't see anything, but we're just listening. And then a little bit of time passes. And then while I'm next to Guy, I hear through the walkie-talkie, Mom's been reunited with the kid. So Mom now is with the kid. I don't know what's up with the aunt. I don't know what was up, why he was so pissed off, why he was so upset. I don't know what the aunt does to him. Who knows, And that was the last we heard of it. And so that was absolutely spectacular. I remember when I was a kid. But first of all, it's so rare to see a little one walking alone without mom and dad anywhere. Bob says Jurassic Park level containment breach. Tyler goes with, do the employees also carry around tranquilizer guns? I guarantee you they've got a protocol in place for this exact thing. And I watched it happen. And those folks at Meyer and Jennison were on top of it. They did an outstanding job at making that a safe environment for that little fucker. I'm guessing there's probably no hope for that kid. In fact, if you're listening, because PJ is a pretty rare name. If there's anyone who knows a teacher in the school-age child, if you happen to hear about a child named PJ, I want you to keep a close eye on that little fucker. Because God knows what could happen to that kid. I don't want to be reading the news in a handful of years or hear about a lockdown because PJ is playing out the part of Jeremy from the fucking Pearl Jam song. Because I think that's entirely a possibility. Because that fucker was wacky. All right. Welcome to the podcast. I'm going to try to get Rick from TC Paintball on here momentarily. I was just checking my text to see if he's out or in. Plano Fingerbanger says, did the kid's dad get good head? I think you meant something different. Did the kid's dad get his head smashed under an ATM machine? That is, I believe, a Breaking Bad reference. Yeah, Rebecca got it too. Okay. If you're watching this show via Facebook or X, I'm going to cut you loose. I'm sorry, Facebook or YouTube, I'm going to cut you loose. If you want the full show, you got to get it on Twitch, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Download the audio podcast wherever you download shows. I upload 2 acts. I take this and split it into 2 parts and post it wherever you download shows. Just search Eric Zane Show Podcast. If you want it while you're driving, just listen to it without watching it. That's totally cool, too. It all helps. It all helps. And whatever I'm on, whatever you watch me on, subscribe to it. It's a big help. If you subscribe to the audio podcast, awesome. If you follow me on Twitch and subscribe on Twitch, that would be terrific as well. You can subscribe for free if you have an Amazon Prime account. That's simple. At least I think it's simple. But if you are subscribed, that helps me, first of all, and you get the show minus commercials. I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. You can sign up for 7 days free, Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. I post all the time to Patreon, new episodes for you to check out. Every day, in fact, a new Patreon bonus podcast. Monday and Friday, I do the Lost Zane recordings. And not to mention the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Who are these Zanes? Who are these freebeers? And whatever else I can come up with. And you can sign up for free for 7 days. patreon.com/Eric Zane. Easy. How do I sign up for free? You use a payment form when you sign up and then cancel it. And then you get the 7 days. Well, why would you tell me to cancel it easy? Because I don't want you to get charged inadvertently if you don't like my content. If after the 7 days you like it, then just sign up again. You see? I'm playing this on the up and up. All right. Being that I have a kind of a new setup here today, I am still doing my thing as best as I can. I'm going to try to bring Rick from TC Paintball in here. It's been way too long since we had Rick on. Jeremy says the people are begging for a new who are these Steve and Kyles? I'll tell you what. I will review some episodes of Steve and Kyle. And if there's something worth clipping, because honestly, it's a very difficult show to clip. Where Free Beer and Hot Wings, it's a very easy show to clip. I find it's more difficult on Steve and Kyle, but not because it's good. It's so bad. There's not even shitty enough material to park on and be interesting at the same time. One of the reasons why it's easy to clip Free Beer and Hot Wings is because most people who listen to me, who know what that show is capable of sounding like, you have something to compare it to compared to what is out now, which is a complete embarrassment, a shell of what it once was. Let's be honest. If I was on that show, it would be good. But I'm not, so it fucking sucks. Hey friends, it's your old pal EZ with my latest and greatest marketing partner, Mint Mobile. I know a lot of you have been through the ringer when it comes to costs with big wireless. As you know, what you see is never what you get. You ever have that happen where you get in there and you're like, okay, they're like, you're going to get this, this, and this, and this, and then you pay us this. And you go, oh, yeah. And then, like, you get the bill and you're like, what the hell just happened? It's like bait and switch. And then you call in and you realize that you're screwed. So you're like, oh, my God, I might as well just keep overpaying for this. Never again. Enter Mint Mobile. You never have to worry about the gotchas ever again. When Mint Mobile says $15 a month, when you purchase a 3-month plan, they mean it. I've done this. You should too. Say bye-bye to the overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to the rescue with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. My God! To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Zane. mintmobile.com/Zane. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month and give the other guys the big heave-ho. mintmobile.com/Zane. All right, fine print time. $45 upfront payment required. That's equivalent to the $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower above 40 gigs on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Let's bring in Rick from TC. Rest in peace to your ears there.
Good morning, Eric Zane.
Rick from TC, how are you, buddy?
I am great. How are you doing?
Doing okay, but it sounds like you're busy.
I'm distracted. I'm going to try not to be distracted with you, but I'm just scrambling to catch up. You know how it is.
So, like, you got so much work to do. It's like, yeah. Are you like me? Do you, like, write things down that you have to get done?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. But then I forget to write everything down.
I know it. Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as it pops into your brain, you got to write it down and then only do one thing at a time.
Well, see, I can't do that. My brain is scattered. So I'll sit here and I'll work on something. Maybe I'll be repairing a gun for a customer or something kind of mundane where I don't have to really think about it a lot. So I can try to have like music going in the background. But then my mind starts to wander a little bit. And I remember that I got to reach out to somebody for a particular piece of information that I need, or to remind them about something, or I got to make an order, or I got to send a message. And then I start doing that. And then I get lost into Facebook or into a different to-do list. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I was working on this gun. I got to get back to it. So I just start juggling things back and forth, and then just start putting out the fires that are the hottest fires, yep. I guess.
Somebody, I forgot who tipped me off about this, because I complained about this exact same thing once. And someone said, become disciplined to start and complete only one thing at a time, no matter what. And
that sounds like great advice, but I think it's really hard to follow that advice, man.
I know it takes time to get. It takes practice. I mean, you have to almost do it for like several days successfully to get into that mindset. It's not overnight.
Well, I don't know if you have realized this about me, but I'll get into a task or a project, and I'll get to that 85% or so range of being complete, and then it kind of checks my dopamine boxes. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, I feel good about the project. I'm just about done with it. Okay, I can come back to the last 10 or 15%. Let me get this done because I feel like it's a more pressing issue. And then that one project sits there at 90%,
yep.
And I keep making excuses on why I can't get back to it. It's a character flaw for sure. I can't get over it.
Listen to this, Rick. There was in my yard, there's a small tree that needed to be trimmed. So I trimmed it, and then all of the branches 1 week ago, they all fell on the in the backyard around the tree. Most people then pick all those up and put that shit in the waste bin. Did I? No. I started it. And then I stopped. Now, why I stopped, I don't know, but they're still there.
That's a tough one. That's because if I have stuff like that laying out, I want to get it put away. But again, I always get to that 80, 85, 90% point in a project, and I walk away from it thinking that something else is more important. So I guess I can see myself doing that same shit.
Okay, now Rob, who's in New Jersey, writes, does anyone else feel Rick's blood pressure rising? And then he wrote, I always have the impression he's all over the place mentally. True or false?
Yeah, that's true. Long story short, that's true. I get scatterbrained, and in my mind, I feel like once I get to certain points of things, there's other things that are more important that I just need to get done. And part of that whole overall problem is that I've got all these things that need to be done, and my mind is constantly reprioritizing as to which one I need to work on right now. So then I get lost in those, you get a little bit done, you move on to something else, you get a little bit done, you address something else, or you forget to come back to it.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Do you have anxiety attacks like I do?
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah.
All the time.
I had one the other day, and I was convinced this is recurring anxiety attack. I get convinced that everything around this whole thing is a house of cards. It's all going to come tumbling down. And I've even mentioned this before. And I'll be in the poorhouse or something like that. It's just something that hasn't happened and never will happen. But for some reason, it's very real to me. And it's very concerning, like life or death type of concerning.
Well, I'm the same exact way. Like I didn't choose a path that was, well worn down by other people that have done this. Like I kind of, opened up a little business, and then the business got busier and busier and busier. And here we are. All of a sudden I've got 15 employees, and, we got all these bills and responsibilities. And once you gain all those employees, bills and responsibilities, you got to make sure you maintain them.
Right.
So yeah, and there's no blueprint. It's kind of same for you. You actually have become the expert when you go to those conferences and stuff for podcasts, and they're going, "Hey, how do we do this?" And you're going, "Hey, you got to do it this way." So you become that authority because you lived it. I'm a similar authority in my industry because I've lived it. But there's no one over top of us saying, "Hey, you're doing it the wrong way. You're going down this path that isn't going to work out." Yeah. You won't realize for 6 months or a couple of years, and that's that anxiety going to work on it.
So the only thing that I've been able to excel at is recognizing, hey, you're having an anxiety attack. The only thing you can do right now that is the most important thing is don't react to it. Just understand that after you go to bed and wake up, it's probably not going to be there. And I have convinced and they only happen at night when I'm worn down and a little tired.
Yeah. So then you feel like you can't get anything more done for the day. When you're at rest, there's your mind never stops working. So your mind's like, "Hey, asshole, you're not working. You need to be getting this stuff done." I feel like the age has helped with that, but there's no doubt, the more you go through it and more they realize that, oh my God, this is a terrible situation, and then later on you realize it wasn't that bad of a situation.
No.
It was just a hard one to get through, but you were going to get through it. Your mind kind of figures that out as you go, and I think I'm better at it these days. But yeah, sometimes that creeps in and you just feel like there's nothing to do, and you're just going to fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly. And then now, though I have the ability to bottle that and recognize it, I am noticing that even the smallest things start to set me off down that road. Things that I wouldn't care about before. So that's increased, but my ability to harness that has also increased. So it's weird. I feel like I'm on a goddamn tightrope.
Yeah, so your capacity for dealing with it grows, but then the possible opportunities for anxiety also grows at what seems like a more exponential rate. So then you're dealing with the little ones a lot better, but then all the big ones start crashing in, right?
Precisely. I don't know if your kids have wanted to see any of those movies called Inside Out.
Oh, those are great. Yeah, we just I took my son and daughter. My daughter was a real big proponent for it, but we went and saw that in the theater recently, maybe a few weeks ago. That was really good.
Yeah, that's what Bob says. Bob says that film actually explained that scenario perfectly.
It definitely does, man. I mean, that hits home. All those like Pixar style movies, man, they got that, the little adult element to them, either like an adult humor that kind of goes over the heads of the kids, or just the adult situations that they don't realize yet.
Yeah.
It really gets them to think about what you're watching. It reaches you too, and that's pretty cool.
I understood that that film, in short order, became the highest grossing animated film ever. And that's saying a lot if you think about it. Like Toy Story and shit like that.
Yeah, but is it number of sales or just overall revenue? Because, you go to the movie lately, it's pretty damn expensive.
It is pretty damn expensive, there's no doubt. Okay, so any downtime for Rick these days? I mean, Gabe the Honduran said to me he wants to get back after it and play some paintball. So we gotta put our heads together.
We do need to put our collective heads together. I've had no downtime. It's we're approaching school. My kids go back to school next week, which means football starts. I'm coaching football for the first 2 months of the school season. So, and he's in 7th grade now, and that's not just 3 days a week practice. It's 5 days a week practice until games start. So that's a little bit more in depth, makes my schedule a little bit more hectic. And at the same time, we're trying to finish up some at-home summer stuff and some events here for my recreational business, which almost everything takes place on the weekend. So available weekends and available time is pretty skinny right now. But we do need to get a date set. I hate the fact, when we first started doing them, we were doing like once every 1 or 2 months, and we were off of that bad. I mean, I can't blame myself for it.
All right, we'll definitely get after it. And speaking of anxiety and football, you know what gave me anxiety yesterday, Rick?
Was it the news that Jahmyr Gibbs blew his hamstring?
It was the news about Jahmyr Gibbs hurt his hamstring.
Okay, he's a speed demon, man, and hamstrings on speed demons, that's a problem. That's going to be a problem for an extended period of time. Good thing we got more than one good running back.
Oh, yeah, I'm very worried about that. But all right. Okay, any final thoughts to wrap this up, big guy? I know, you said you were worried because haven't been up on pop culture, but listen, I don't think anything really is going on from a pop culture standpoint right now. The only thing dominating the news is politics.
Yeah, and who gives a shit?
Right.
Like we don't have good choices. It's just I'd like to be able to go to another country and just point at the U.S. and laugh at their political situation, but unfortunately we're stuck.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait. Hey, the thing about having a debate here, Rick. Did you hear that one?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't understand the question.
Trump said he wants a debate in Grand Rapids.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And Harris hasn't agreed to it, but we might have Lester Holt, NBC News, and an actual debate in Grand Rapids.
Oh, that'll be great for traffic. They better use their turn signals.
Yep. Yeah, of course. Rick's hot take: turn signals and headlights.
Yeah, that's my political hot take. Use your turn signals.
All right, buddy. It's always good hearing your voice.
I'll talk to you soon.
Call Rick at TC Paintball. There you go. Sorry about blasting your ears out there. when I blasted your ears out there, I'm still figuring out my new toy here. So I'm sorry. Some of you were like, ah, when I was dialing the number. That was horrible. I'm so sorry I did that to you. Who knew that a podcast could actually injure you somehow? Wasn't there a moment in the Howard Stern Private Parts movie when he, according to the film, like he had a woman call, and in the film she was a hot chick, and Howard convinced her to lay her speaker down, and she would straddle the speaker, and Howard would, and it caused the speaker to vibrate, and she had like a juicy orgasm or something like that. That's kind of like what I did, except I caused your ears to be pained. It was horrible. I'm so sorry. All right, so I'm going to kick you folks out that are on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Facebook and Twitch brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. In fact, let me tell you a story about Irvine's, and this is part of like the commercial too. Because part of what I've talked about on this show yesterday was Madison's car broke down. And, I had it towed over to Irvine's because I was concerned about, I couldn't get it started. You got to fix the damn thing. So I was pretty sure the alternator was dead. Now the alternator is in fact dead. But this is why I love Irvine's. Because Steve over there, one of the things they do is they go over with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that, sure, they can fix the alternator, but let's see what else is going on with this car. Well, being that this car is nearly 20 years old, there are some major things that are going to go. Typically, this vehicle, at the mileage that it's at, like 150,000, the water pump goes and the timing belt goes. Okay, so there's that. And there's also some other components that are, there's a tie rod or something like that, or something to do with the steering is about to fall off very loose. The brakes are horrible. And so, we go over all these things, and Megan is like, okay, Megan and Steve are both like, this is about safety at this point. There are some real safety things that we can't, just let you drive it off. Because if something goes wrong and you crash into a fucking bus stop where kids are, or you die, we don't want that, Eric. So we got to get the car fixed. If you want to get it fixed, we can fix the car for you. So she sends me the estimate of these. And so now this is the point that I was talking about yesterday. That when the car has diminished returns, and I looked at the dollar amount, and the dollar amount is so much. Okay, I looked at just the timing belt and the water pump. Just for that's $1,700 on top of the cost of the alternator and everything else. So I'm like, well, okay, I might as well just get it all fixed. Now we're looking at several $1,000s to get a 20-year-old car safe. So that's when you go, oh, okay, hey, don't fix anything. I said, I got something cooking. So I called up my buddy over at a dealership that I can't name right now because, just a long story. I talked about it yesterday on the Patreon. But I called up my buddy at that dealership, and I go, look, man, I bought this car off you almost 20 years ago, and it's dead. And I need a car. And he goes, God damn it, why aren't we advertising with you? I go, I don't know, man. Talk to your boss. He goes, all right, tow that car to the salvage yard. Like literally get it towed and tow it over to there's a salvage yard near here. And he goes, I'll give you $1,000 for it. I go, no problem. I go, I'm going to be in today, and I got to get a car. Now, Madison doesn't have any fucking money. So I go to her, I go, all right, you drive the truck until we get this up and running. We'll figure it out. Now, I know I told you that if this happened, I would say to Jackie, give the car you're driving to Madison and you buy your own car. But saying it and doing that are two entirely different things. And I can't work up the strength to tell her that she has to buy a car. She just bought a house. I can't do it. It feels so wrong to ask her to do that. I can't. I guess I could give her the option, but they are right now at this stage of the game, down payment on a house, bought a house, spending all this money to get the house. I can't do it. I can't do it. So Madison can't afford a car. Jackie can afford a car more than Madison can, but still can't afford a car. I don't want to buy another car, but Madison needs a fucking car. So I'm going to buy a car. I'll go there today. This is how I do things. All right, give me that. I'll worry about it later. Are you like that? I'm one of those guys. Yeah, fuck it. I got a month to I got a month to figure it out. Send me the goddamn payment. I'll take care of it. But now, right now, I'm talking a good game. That's fine. I should have that attitude most of the time. But like I was talking about with Rick, tonight, when it's bedtime, it might be a different ballgame. I might be like, oh no. I might be like PJ at fucking Meyer. Oh my God. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? This is not going to work. What am I going to do? Everything's going to come crumbling down. The repo man's going to take all my shit. We're going to get kicked out of our house. It's all terrible. The end is coming. And then Diana's just sitting there looking at her phone. She's like, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. You're going to be fine. Shut up. No, it's fine. Go to bed. Shut up. All right, that is Act 1 of the podcast. Act 2 is available right after this one. Go check it out. What are you doing? Don't miss a second of it. Thank you so much.